This story is absolute insanity, honestly. And it all started from a stupid school prank that I alone was framed for. My name is Beth, and I made the worst judgment call in my whole life. And I'm still paying for it, and I have no idea how to turn everything back. Our school, like many others, has a certain tradition of sorts. Every year, the soon-to-be graduating seniors have a prank day near the end of term. I've seen rude iconography painted on the busts that stand at our school's entrance, fake mustaches glued on all the portraits in the halls, and even every senior dressing like a clown. Every year, the teachers would dread prank day, and some would even try to eliminate the tradition. But the school principal even did something funny himself once. He placed a bunch of balloons in the hallway. They were floating around and obstructing everyone. Also, they would pop from time to time, making several teachers almost lose their minds. We decided that balloons, paint, and all that other trivial stuff was too boring. It's been done before, and we wanted to leave a mark on history. I can't say who it was that came up with this harebrained scheme, but for some reason, everyone chose me as the executor. So this idea was that I would have to run across the whole school naked. I don't know why they picked me. I tried to say no, but they knew my weakness. They dared me. They know I'm not one to back down from a challenge. So it didn't take much before I relented. Well, I still had an option to skip school that day, but I would be called a rat, a snitch, or worse, a coward. Or I could do the challenge and be punished or maybe even expelled. Considering each perspective, I tried to prove that I wasn't going to do something so insane. In the end, it didn't take too much before I lost my resolve. The hottie of my school, the future prom king, Harry, started to persuade me. He was the most popular guy and the most handsome with his hair and those eyes. Every girl wanted him, and even some of the teachers, I'm sure. So when a guy like him told me how gorgeous my body shape is, and that would be a shame not to show it to everyone, and that he, in particular, was looking forward to it, I was weak. I gave up. He even asked me to be his date to prom, if I was up to the challenge, of course. I wanted to go to prom with him so badly. Being in love makes you an idiot. And I said yes. I knew my fame for a stunt like this wouldn't outweigh just how much trouble I would be in. And no, I'm not actually shy, nor am I blind. I know my body looks pretty good. My classmates caught me at school and made me take my clothes off. And I did it, okay? I did it. And then I just booked it. I didn't allow myself a chance to think in case I backed out. I first ran down the hall, which thankfully wasn't very full. To put an end to the show, I popped into the principal's office and threw my bra at him. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it properly, after all. Our janitor was so surprised by the scene that he dropped a bucket of water in the hall. I slipped on the wet floor and fell down the steps. I smacked my head, and then darkness came. But in the end, mischief managed. And the next day was horrible. I knew it would be, but I still had a little hope that they would give me a chance. The principal, as well as the entire school administration, insisted on my expulsion. They once thought painting the busts of the school founders was the worst prank, but running through the whole school fully naked definitely topped that. But the worst thing was, all of my classmates who dared me to do the prank pretended that they knew nothing. No one stood up for me. So I had to rely on myself, and I decided to pretend that I had lost my memory. Either I'm a great actress, or the teachers know nothing about how memory loss really works. In the end, they all believed me. I was sitting there, so miserable, staring at the floor, and saying that I didn't remember what I was doing. I told them that I can't recall the previous day at school or what was happening a month ago. Maybe someone did something to me, or maybe I hit my head during gym class or when I fell. So I pretended to be innocent and not involved. I even cried a bit, just like I saw in the movies, and then one lie after another. That's how everything happened and how I avoided getting expelled. So, in the end, I got to stay at school, and the school administration even investigated the situation, but they didn't find anyone to blame. Thankfully, the video of me was successfully seized and deleted. I hoped my friends and Harry would understand that I was just pretending. I even gave them some hints. But according to the cover story, I lost my memory, right? And Harry took advantage of that fact. When I came and asked him to go to prom with me, he stood me up. He wasn't inherently rude, but it was pretty clear to me what his intentions were. And my friend took my place. Although she said she didn't even like him. She said he asked her, and she wasn't able to say no. Maybe he did ask her, but it was you who said that you wouldn't go with him even if he asks you. That's what you said. You also said you were my best friend. I guess they were both lies. And then something weird started to happen. All my friends, my classmates, everyone started to use me. I said this, I promised that, I volunteered to help with those. I knew I'd never promised anyone anything. This snot-nosed creep even dared to say that I personally asked him to go to prom together. What can I do? They either really thought I'd lost my memory, or honestly, even if they knew it was a hoax, they were all taking advantage of the situation. I expected some support in case no one would guess I was lying, but instead, I got something quite different. If I admitted I knew they were using me and wouldn't do their bidding anymore, they'd tell the principal I was faking and I'd get expelled. So the end of high school was very frustrating. I did all of that for them, and they... All I can do is keep pretending that I remember nothing, but with every passing day, I have to go along with their increased idiocracy, doing their bidding like some pathetic servant. This is blackmail. I can't reveal the truth, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do this anymore. It's scary. My only options are to have everyone absolutely hate me and get expelled right before graduation and not get into college, or be bullied and tormented. Those aren't very good choices. Though I guess I did learn something valuable. I never had any friends.
My name is Peter, and I'm Beth's classmate and also her secret but very loyal admirer. And I know the truth. We're not friends, and probably she doesn't even know about my existence. She is a quite popular beauty. Well, she was before all that absurd story. And I'm not even some loser or freak. I'm just an ordinary-looking, plain guy no one notices. If someone asked me, I would say that I'm against such mischiefs. Pranks are not for me, but Beth would probably get hurt in that case. The whole crowd was framing her. They literally made her break the school rules. And that would result in not just some simple punishment, but exclusion. And she would be lucky to have one without a poor record. But they didn't ask me. The crowd wanted a show, and it wasn't bothered by the hypothetical consequences for Beth. The poor girl was trying to refuse, but she had no choice. The crowd has already decided to sacrifice her. I wanted to defend her, but I didn't know the right way. The only thing I could do in secret is to delay everything. I broke the lock of her locker in the dressing room, so the crowd in the hall was not as big when she finally appeared. I also dropped the bucket. To be precise, the cleaning lady was so shocked that she did it herself after I screamed and pointed at Beth. Beth made a good decision by trying to pretend she lost her memory. But then, I didn't expect that. I was sure everyone would guess she was just pretending, but it turned to be so much worse. For me, it was rather good because our classmates appeared to be such assholes, especially Harry, who was my main rival for Beth's heart. Harry made almost a Christmas present for me by refusing to go with Beth to the prom. If he liked her, he would have probably asked her out, and I would have no chance to become Beth's boyfriend. Certainly she would choose him. But Harry didn't just say no, though she recalled his words. He asked her best friend. Beth is too proud to forgive him and her best friend such an insult. And she didn't. While the others had fun trying to think of more ways to deceive Beth, I was aware. Several times I even silenced the most deranged guys who were speaking about Beth some dirty things. She cried and denied everything, and I just talked to them like man to man. I was waiting for Beth to understand who took care of her all that time. I think I'm quite successful. When Beth thinks no one sees her, she stares at everyone from her class with rage and hatred. And I'm the only exception. Certainly, Beth has no idea who has been protecting her all the time. But I will change that. Just before the prom, I will confess that I'm in love with her, and I know her secret. I will definitely become her hero. Sometimes it seems she even doesn't know about my existence, but it can't be true. Am I right? She is too smart not to notice me as her guardian angel behind her back, yeah? Please do write a comment about what you think of the story and its characters. Like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe not to miss the new stories.